Hello, how's everybody doing? We're going to be getting started with my Japanese coach very soon. I have written in the chat, Oha konbanchi wa, kanji wa junbi wa ii. Junbi wa ii is what you say when you ask somebody if they're prepared or if they're ready for something. So, yeah, my Japanese coach, as we have seen several times before in our streams, tends to write things wrong. So, I'm not really having high expectations for, you know, how the kanji is going to be written. How the kanji are going to be written, I guess I should say. Keeping cool with some ice-cold water. It's been very moist today. It's been raining and moisture's just been hanging in the air. Alright, let me get my notebook out that I had already, filled out. Before we get started on kanji, though, we're gonna learn about some more foods. So, maybe grab a snack while you're watching and studying. Doesn't hurt. Okay. Let's go on over to the game now. Alright, learning. We are on to lesson 41 now. And before we start our lesson here, let's talk a little bit about Aomori. Aomori Nebuta is a famous festival performed from August 2nd to August 7th every year. Other major attractions of Aomori include ruins, museums, and mountains. So, yeah, that looks like a dragon of sorts there in the image. Pretty cool. Alright, let's begin our lessons. So, as usual, we're going to do a set of 5, take a break, another set of 5, and then that will be the end of the stream. So, vegetables. Eating lots of vegetables will keep you healthy. Be sure to ask for them. So, first off, Rice isn't really a vegetable, it's a grain.
米
Anyway, that's how we say it. Kome. You might also hear gohan, which also means meal in Japanese. So there are two ways to refer to rice. For tomatoes, we have
トマト
tomato. Tomato, tomato. Potato, potato.
じゃがいも
Potato, jagaimo. Next, we have corn.
トウモロコシ
Tomorokoshi. I didn't remember that word, to be honest. Tomorokoshi. I wonder where that word comes from. I think it'll tell me in the Jisho here. Tomorokoshi. Doesn't seem to come from anywhere. But yeah, I guess just remember that. And then carrots,
人参
ninjin. I've briefly talked about that word before through one of my example sentences. Now for another group of mostly katakana words. You should pick these up pretty quickly. Beans, we have
豆
mame. So rice and beans, kome to mame. Celery,
セロリ
celery. Lettuce,
レタス
lettuce. Onions,
ネギ
negi. You might hear tamanegi for a round onion, or there's another kind of negi. Let's see. What is it? Let's see. Tamanegi, just negi for Welsh onion or green onion. I guess it's primarily that then. All right. And then
サラダ
salada. Salad. Pull some veggies out of this word field. Okay. Let's do it. 人参
人参
negi
ネギ
mame celery
セロリ
salada
サラダ
kome
米
lettuce
レタス
jagaimo
じゃがいも
tokoromoshi
トウモロコシ
tomorokoshi
ト
tomato.
マト
There we go. Since we've already talked about likes and wants, you should be a pro by now. Though you could have explained it just a little bit better with the des. But if we're just doing ga hoshi like this,
サラダが欲しい
then I guess we're okay. Sarada ga hoshi. And then I like rice.
米が好きです
Kome ga suki desu. I'm sure Japanese people really do like rice, because it seems like a lot of their specialties involve rice. It's super important to start thinking of things in Japanese and saying what they are for practice. Try to use every word that you know in your daily life. Okay, but I'm not really in the mood to do multiple choice. Now that we're done with the veggies, how about something that you can sink your teeth into? Like a nice juicy steak. It's coming right up. Alright. Let's learn about some meat. Now it's time to go over all the types of meat. Please bear with me, vegetarians. So first off, we have
ビーフ
beef. For pork, we have
豚肉
豚肉. Chicken, we have
チキン
chicken. Although you might also hear, I think, toriniku. Something important to know is that the word niku means meat. So if you just attach like the animal and meat next to it, so butaniku, pig meat, it's pork, toriniku, it's chicken, ushiniku would be cow meat, and it would be beef.
ハム、
Ham, pretty simple there.
ステーキ、
Steak, also pretty easy. The meat that we eat the most in Japan is fish. Although, would you really consider that meat? I don't know. You might have to help me out on that one, viewers.
魚、
Sakana. We say that for both the fish we eat and the fish that are alive swimming in the sea, let's say. For tuna, we have
マグロ、
maguro. Although I think you might sometimes hear it called tuna as well. For egg, we have
卵、
tamago. Bacon,
ベーコン、
bacon. And sausage,
ソーセージ、
sausage. So, a bunch of these words we're already fairly familiar with already because they're just borrowed from English or whatever language we borrow from whoever. You know what I mean. So, the words to really think about here are butaniku, maguro, sakana, tamago. Those are the big ones that you should focus on. The others will just come naturally. Anyway, brush up on your meat words and try to save some room for dessert.
マグロ、
Tuna,
チキン、
chicken,
ハム、
ham,
ビーフ、
beef,
ステーキ、
steak,
魚、
fish,
ソーセージ、
sausage,
卵、
egg,
ベーコン、
bacon,
豚肉、
pork. Alright. Honestly, the whole listening thing, it makes this really easy. I wonder if there's a mini game they'll give us that has us focus a little more on reading the kana. Hopefully it would support kana. You can also talk about what other people like by making minor adjustments. Do you like bacon?
ベーコンが好きですか？
Bacon ga suki desu ka? Suzuki likes eggs.
鈴木さんは卵が好きです。
Suzuki-san wa tamago ga suki desu. Suzuki-san wa tamago ga suki desu. When you say ga suki desu, we can use plural subjects like we without having to change the rest of the sentence. They want fish.
彼らは魚が欲しい。
Karera wa sakana ga hoshii. We want steak.
私たちはステーキが欲しい。
Watashi tachi wa steaki ga hoshii. You follow? This isn't what I mean by reading, game. Well, I guess we'll do it.
魚、
Sakana, fish.
豚肉、
Butaniku, pork.
卵、
Tamago, egg.
マグロ、
Maguro, tuna.
ベーコン、
Bacon, bacon.
ステーキ、
Sticky. Not to be confused with sticky, which means, like, delightful. Chicken. Chicken.
ソーセージ、
Sausage.
ビーフ、
Beep, 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 beep. Sorry.
ハム
Ham. When I think of Japanese and beef, I can't help but think of that Proton John meme with beefuru. And we're done here. Now we're finished with the main course. Time to look at other foods that may have escaped our attention. Alright, let's see what other things we can sink our teeth into. Here's some other food words that might come in handy when you're feeling hungry. First we have milk.
牛乳
Gyunyu. Gyu is, actually, I guess I might as well put it in as a side note. Ushi and Gyu, they use the same kanji, which means cow. So that's something to think about when we start learning kanji. Next we have
スープ
soup. It's soup. For bread,
パン
we have pan. Fairly simple. For coffee,
コーヒ
kohi. And
ークッキー
cookie. The word for bread comes from Portuguese. That's why it's in katakana. We drink a lot of tea in Japan.
お茶
Ocha. That's an important word to remember.
キャンディー
Candy, for candy, of course. For dessert,
デザート
desato. For soda,
ソーダ
soda.
アイ
And
スクリーム
ice cream. So, yeah, a bunch of these words also in katakana and pronounced fairly similar to how we say the words. So, just focus on memorizing gyunyu, maybe pan if you're not familiar with Portuguese or Spanish, and ocha.
お茶
Let's say we go get some tea if you ace this game. My treat. Alright. Let's give it a try. Candy. Soup. Kohi. Soup.
スープ
あ
お茶
Cha.
ソ
Soda.
ーダ
Pan. Ice
ア
cream.
イスクリーム
Gyunyu.
牛乳
Desato. Cookie.
キャン
Candy. Yeah, that's not too hard. Of course, the hard thing is just reading the kana in a fast fashion. Nani ga suki desu ka?
お菓子が好きです
Okashi? Okay, so okashi means something like snacks or sweets. They don't teach you this word directly for some reason. So, yeah, if you want to say I like snacks or I like sweets, we would say okashi ga suki desu. If we want to say I like cookies, we say
クッキーが好きです
cookie ga suki desu. You should be getting the hang of ga suki desu by this point. It's as simple as that. The sentence structure is fairly simple once you get used to it. Just check your spelling. Well, I'm not going to type that stuff in, I'm sorry. Now you're ready to go out for a dinner date. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Alright, well with that, time to see what's next. Let's click down. Alright, now it's time for the dreaded kanji. This is probably the part of Japanese that makes everybody freeze in fear their first time learning the language. Because, well, there are thousands of characters that exist, and that you have to know. So, yeah, don't worry. We'll just be taking this slow, okay? Although something I do kind of wish that this game did is also teach you about radicals. Radicals are basically parts of kanji that they're parts that can make up a kanji. They're actually fairly important because they can help determine the meaning and or the reading of a kanji. But we'll probably just go over that at a later point. It won't be discussed in this game, I don't believe, so just bear that in mind. Isn't it nice that you're all finished learning kana? Now you can write anything that you want, right? The problem is that there are a number of words that are written the same in kana, but have different meanings. Aside from knowing the circumstances, how can you know what they mean? By using kanji! Kanji is the part of the written language that focuses on meanings rather than sounds. Remember? But this leads us to a small problem. If the focus is on meaning instead of sound, how do we read kanji? Most kanji also have a number of readings that tell us the sounds that can be used. Let me explain the next page. On the top, it will show the character, the meaning, and the different readings. On the bottom, you can practice writing the kanji. So, yeah, this is what we're going to be doing when we're practicing kanji. We're given how to write the kanji here. It would be nice if I could, like, you know, erase this and... Well, it's just, you can barely see the blue ink that I'm writing on the touch screen. It's not very easy to see. Anyway, the first kanji that we learn is for sun or day. This can be read as hi, ka, nichi, jitsu. Now, I'm just going to say this right away. Don't focus too much on all the readings of the kanji. It is best to learn kanji alongside vocabulary. This is very important. It'll help maintain your sanity when it comes to, like, trying to remember kanji. Alright, so sun, day. If you see it by itself, it is usually written as hi. And when we write the kanji like this, Nichiyobi, it means Sunday. Now, the game is going to be using some kanji that we don't know yet, and won't be knowing throughout this 100 lesson plan, so this is just a way to kind of get you familiar with what means what. So, let me see if I can, is there a way I can just, like, draw on OBS? Doesn't seem like I can. So, I guess the next best thing would be to open up Microsoft Paint. All right, let me just add this as a source really quick. Hang on. There. All right, this'll do. Cool. All right, so he, 1, 2, 3, 4. This means sun or day. Let me see if there are some words that, some easy words that we can make with that kanji. Of course, we have the days of the week like Nichiyobi. I'll just write it like this. Now, you might be wondering something. This is pronounced, this is read as B, not he. Why is that? Well, there are some words that kind of modify the reading of the kanji. But the good thing is they do use the same actual kana. It's just they might add a dakten or a handakten in there. So, all right. Let's move on to the next thing, which is for moon or month. This is, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Read as tsuki, getsu, gatsu. When alone, it is usually read as tsuki, but when after a number, it is usually read as gatsu. So, ichigatsu, January, first month, and it can also be used as part of getsuyobi, Monday. So let's go back to paint here. So let's say we write the number 1 right here, and we add the kanji for moon or month. This means January, the first month. Similarly, if we want to say the day of something, like let's put in 13 and draw the sun kanji, this would be the 13th day. Sanju Nichi. All right. Let's click off of that. Next we have he. This is another kanji that is read as hi and ka. So, yeah, but this is different. It means fire. Oh, good. They actually got the stroke order correct for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's written quite not exactly like you might think at first. When by itself, it should be read as hi. So, we have Kayobi, which means Tuesday, as you might know. And if we want to say, put out that fire, we say, Sono hi o keshite. Put out that fire. That kanji there means to extinguish or disappear. Alright, so back to this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the kanji for fire. I don't think there are any other words I could think of right now that we have learned here, at least, that use that kanji. Although, if you want to refer to something as a fire incident, let's say, we would write the fire kanji, and then let's put in the kana here. Kaji. This is a fire incident. Or this is a... I guess this is this involves a kanji that we'll know about later. Hanabi. This means fireworks. Basically, it makes it's sparks of fire that look like flowers in the sky. That's how that came to be. Next we have... Okay, yeah, that is written correctly. Water. Mizu, sui. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. By itself, it is read as mizu. And we have suiobi. And if we want to say to drink water, we say mizu o nomu. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is water. Let's get back over here. Now, you might notice a running theme with these kanji that we're learning. We're seeing the days of the week quite a bit, aren't we? Well, yes, those are the first kanji that we are learning for this first kanji lesson. So, yeah, now we'll be able to write these in kanji. Next we have tree and wood. This can be read as ki, moku, or it says boku, I believe. By itself, it is read as ki. That means, well, tree or even wood. So, mokuyobi, Thursday. Or if we wanted to talk about a wooden sword, we say bokuto. We don't know the kanji for sword yet, but it's pretty easy to know about. It kind of looks like the katakana ka, just it doesn't have that extendy thing out. Anyway, wood should be easy. And as a matter of fact, this does look quite like a tree, doesn't it? Ta-da! Yeah, that's probably one of the easiest kanji you'll ever know. It looks like a tree. And this is getting a little bit ahead, but there will actually be some more kanji that use more than one tree. So, for example, if I write two trees next to each other like this, this is hayashi, which means woods or a grove. And then if we write three trees like this, oh geez, I'm not showing this. Oh geez, I'm sorry. I better start over. If we write two trees like this, this is hayashi, which means woods or grove. And if we write three trees like this, this is mori, which means forest. So yeah, the more trees, the place that you're referring to has more trees. It's quite simple. Don't think everything's gonna be this simple, though. Okay, let's get back to the game. Time for a little breather. How are you doing? Genki desu ka? Have you been seeing how the kanji is used in different words to make it use different sounds? Be sure to read through the examples. Break time's over. Alright, next we have gold medal money. This is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is it written correctly? Yes, it is. I'm being very picky here. By itself, it is usually read as kin, gold, though it is also often read as kane, metal money. We typically put the o honorific before kane to refer to money, because money is important. Okane. And then we have kinyobi, which is Friday. So, to review here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It kind of looks like a shrine, doesn't it? Perhaps think of these as like 2 gold coins. Maybe it's a little bit of a stretch, but that's probably one of the best ways to remember this kanji. Now, I know there's a book that exists called Remembering the Kanji, and people will refer to that book a lot. I haven't read the book myself, so I can't really say anything about it. But, yeah, just think about ways you can memorize and remember kanji. Give them, like, their own little stories. And then we have earth and soil. So, tsuchi do to. By itself is usually read as tsuchi to mean soil or dirt. And it is also used in doyobi, which is Saturday. So, to review that, 1, 2, 3. As a matter of fact, it does look like a plant sprouting up above the ground, doesn't it? Let me get the color green. 1, 2. Yeah, see that? Man, learning kanji is fun when you do stuff like this. Let's take another small break. I need to explain something new. It's called okurigana. Oh, that's right. Okurigana is kana that follows a kanji, but is still part of the word. All e adjectives and verbs have okurigana. For example, taberu. This is a word for eat, taberu. It's all one word, but there are two kana letters following the kanji. The beru in this case are called okurigana. Because ta can't, the kanji for to eat, ta, it can't be read by itself like that. It has to have the beru after it. So think of okurigana as helper kana. As a matter of fact, let me see what kuri translates as. Okuri. So the O is not an honorific, it's actually part of okurigana. Yeah, the kanji that is being used in okurigana means like escort or send, and is used for like to see someone off, let's say. Basically, they're just being sent to accompany a kanji to make a word. Let's think of it like that. Alright, in order for this to be useful to you, I need to show you what letters in a word with kanji would be okurigana. In the reading section, the okurigana is surrounded by parentheses. Check it out. So, as you can see, big, oki. Although o, it could be just read as o in some cases. Though if, I'm not sure if, you know what, never mind. Yeah, big. This is the kana for big. Now, if you're using a dictionary like Lorenzi's Jisho, the okurigana would actually be separated by a period. Like right here where the parentheses is, right here. So we can say oki, big, or we could also say daisuki, which means to really like or love something or someone. So let's go over to our paint here. One, two, three. I'm big. Yeah, it's like a big person here, stretching their arms and legs wide open. Next we have middle. Let's see. There we go. Read as naka and chu. Sono chu ni aru. It is inside of that. Sono chu ni aru. And Chugoku, China. China is literally the Middle Kingdom. Yeah, I've actually stated this before. So, yeah, that is why. It's because of chu here, and it uses the kanji for middle. So, middle is another fairly easy kanji to remember because we're drawing essentially a box here, and then we're stabbing in the middle of it. Let's say we're stabbing in the middle of it with a skewer. And speaking of skewer, I guess I could show this as well. 2 boxes stabbed through. That also is a skewer. Fairly simple. Although that's not a kanji you would learn until later in school. And finally, we have small. Chisai, ko, o, sho. So we have chisai, which means small. Kotori, to mean a small bird or little bird. Ogawa, small river. Oh geez, I haven't been showing this. I have to switch back and forth, like, between OBS and stuff. Alright, so this is the kanji. I might as well undo this. Chisai. This means small. And yeah, there's small bird and small river. Now, don't worry about having to write some of these kanji that you don't know yet, because, let's face it, the resolution is kind of tiny, so it would be pretty difficult to just see what the kanji really is without, like, looking it up. So just replace that with tori. It'll still mean small bird. You don't have to worry about that. Whew, that's a lot of new information. Be sure to practice it. Time to practice the writing and the readings with a new game. Alright, so we have Yomi. Let's see here. So yeah, we're writing the kana reading. So, これは僕のお金ですよ. Oh, yeah, you can see it on the top screen here. And then we have the kanji that we're gonna write. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. その男の子は火が好きです. That boy likes fire. He. And then the kanji. 私は大きい猫が好きです. So, o, he. Oh, oops. Right, I was writing it, like, taking it off. I'm not used to doing that. That is an apple tree. それは、リンゴの木です. Yeah, this is kanji for ringo, but don't worry about that. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 彼は車の中にいる. He is inside the car. Sangatsu ni Nihon ni ikimasu. I will go to Japan in March. So we're doing gatsu. And the kanji for moon. Chisai kuruma ga suki desu ka? Small cars. We're doing small here. Chisai Oh, I did it again. Chisai. Alright. 今日は日曜日です。日 and then the kanji. 土曜日に寿司を食べる. I will eat sushi on Saturday. And then kanji for dirt. この水を飲んでください. Please drink this water. 水 Excellent. Okay, let's move onward. Heck, it's been so long since I gave you a new game that I'm gonna give you another new game. Scrolls. Alright, let's see this one. Alright, so for this one, we're going to have to, figure out the kanji that is being used here. So, 金曜日に日本語を勉強しました. So, 金, it is this kanji. Also, it bothers me that Haruka here is flipped. As you can see, her hair is in a different direction. 小さい女の子は話した. The small girl spoke. Sushiを食べないで. Don't eat dirt. There's dirt. 彼は大きいです. 1, 2, 3. 日曜日に来てください. Uh, 12月は寒いです. It's not January, it's cold. This is December. So, gatsu. If it was January, it would be ichigatsu. But you said 12月. Let's see. 忍者は水を上に歩きました. 水 Alright. 中国に行きたいです. 中国に行きたいです. 木曜日にパンを食べた. I ate bread on Thursday. 彼女は火曜日に行きましたよ. 行きましたよ. 1, 2, 3, 4. 上手ですね. Wait, 9 right out of 10? What do you mean? I got all of them correct, didn't I? Yeah, I think I remember this happening to me a few times, so I think this is actually a bug with the game. So that sucks. You're going to have to write more kanji. There you go, down the road of kanji. I'm so proud of you. Next time I want to talk about connecting sentences. Don't worry, there will be more kanji soon. So, before we move on to connecting sentences, there is a fantastic way to practice writing the days of the week. So, something I do is when I'm writing my schedule on my journal, I basically am writing a calendar. So, let's see. I would write Nichiyobi, Getsuyobi. Oh, oops. Kayobi, Suiyobi, Mokuyobi, Kinyobi, Doyobi. And they would be like laid out in a grid like this. This is a fantastic way to practice like writing the kanji. Or you can just split it up like this and do your like weekly schedule for the day. That's what I do. Can I undo all of this? Okay, I can. So yeah, that's a great way to practice those kanji. Alright, let's talk about connecting sentences. Sometimes one sentence alone won't get the job done. That's why we connect sentences. There are many methods of connecting sentences together in English and Japanese. Some common connecting words are but, after, and because. What are the two sentences that make up the sentence below? And what is the connecting word? He is big, but he is not strong. Here's how it breaks down. Sentence 1, he is big. Sentence 2, he is not strong. The connector is but, because the two sentences contradict each other in a sort of way. We can make sentences like this in Japanese too, but first you need to know the right words. Guess I should tell you some of those words then. So first we have but,
けど、
kedo, because,
ので、
node, after,
から、
kara. Kara can also mean because, I'm pretty sure. Alright, and then we have interesting,
面白い、
omoshiroi. It also means funny or amusing. It is an adjective. And then to be different,
違う、
shigao. It is a verb. Before going into how the sentence connecting words work, I want to talk a little more about the other two. Omoshiroi can mean interesting, amusing, or funny. Isn't that interesting? Fushigi da ne. Oh, wait, omoshiroi da ne. Fushigi means mystery. Sorry. We're pretty polite, and so we don't like telling people they're wrong. We usually just say that the answer is different. Make a mistake on a game to see shigao in use. So yeah, you have seen that a few times, as I messed up a couple of times throughout the various mini games. But back to connecting sentences together. We need a verb in order to use after. The verb base needs to be in base te. The first thing that happens goes first in the sentence. So, after I eat, I will go.
食べてから行く、
We can also translate this as I will go after I eat, or like when I eat, I will go. Okay. I think it makes the most sense when we say after I eat, I will go. So after I learn Japanese, I will understand.
日本語を学んでからわかる、
Nihongo manande. Oh, manabu, learn. Yeah. Nihongo manande kara wakaru. After I learn Japanese, I'll understand. Node should be used when the cause first, with the cause first and the effect second. But the word before it should be in informal tense. I hate it here because it's hot.
ここは暑いので嫌いです、
Koko wa atsui no de kirai desu. I hate it here because it's hot. And then I like him because he's interesting.
彼は面白いので好きです。
彼は面白いので好きです。Lastly, kedo can be used to mean but at the end of a sentence. The but applies to the sentence that is at the end of, like this. I want this, but I have no money.
これが欲しいけどお金がない。
これが欲しいけどお金がない。And I'm weak but fast.
私は弱いけど速い。
私は弱いけど速い。Here's some more words that will need a bit of explaining. To exist for animate objects,
いる、
iru, and to exist for inanimate objects,
ある、
aru. Also for like more abstract things. And then here,
ここ、
koko, there,
そこ、
soko, over there,
あそこ。
asoko. Okay, so they do go over asoko. Both of the verbs for exist mean that something exists. In English, we would usually say is here. Animate means something that is alive and moves around, while inanimate means everything else. Now, I believe you actually can use iru to refer to a car, because I guess it is something that is able to move on its own. I have seen that in like the flashcards that I was using for Anki. Here they are in use. A cat is here.
猫がいる。
Neko ga iru. A book is here.
本がある。
Hon ga aru. See the difference? A cat is capable of moving by itself, while a book is not. So we use iru and aru respectively. The negative tense for aru is nai. It doesn't follow the regular rules. Be careful not to forget it. So yeah, present positive is aru, present negative is nai. Although, oh yeah, if we're being more formal, we would say arimasen as the negative tense. You might have heard this from dewa arimasen, which is the negative form of des. So, that's something for you to learn there. Lastly, here, there, and over there. Here is where the speaker is, there is closer to the listener than the speaker, and over there is far from both of them. That's enough explaining for now. Get these practiced. I am not spelling, though. The more you practice, the better you'll know it. Multiple choice, really? No. Next time I'm going to cover something that you might like a little more. Talking about our deepest desires. And I think we desire a bit of a break. We discussed a lot, especially with kanji, so I think it's time to give ourselves a little bit of a break, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm gonna be snacking on some chips while we're doing some more lessons. Now, of course, it is not recommended that you like speed learn through these kanji if you're seeing them for the first time. So, just take it like a few at a time. In the meantime, let's get back into learning. So we're going to learn about desire, but first we're Shinkansen. The Shinkansen is a network of high-speed railway lines in Japan. Shinkansen opened in 1964 running at 130 miles per hour, but now runs at around 188 miles per hour. So fast. And yeah, they would take this to work. It would be so convenient if other countries had a railway system like this, wouldn't it? Wouldn't have to rely on having to own a car all the time. That is the worst part of trying to find a job. I don't own a car and I don't really want to have a car, so that just makes looking for jobs a hell of a lot more difficult. But enough about that. Let's learn some Japanese. I've talked before about wanting an object and about liking something. Now you're going to take it to another level, grammatically speaking. How do you say that you want to do something? How do you tell someone that you want them to do something? That's what I'll be teaching you this time around. But first off, here's some new verbs to use with the new grammar. To give,
あげる
ageru. To dance,
踊る
odoru. To teach,
教える
osieru. To get married,
結婚する
kekkon suru. This is a suru verb. And to take a walk,
散歩に行く
sanpo ni iku. This is to go for a walk. Sanpo is stroll, and yeah, it's to go for a stroll or a walk. And a few more for good measure. Money,
お金
okane. We talked about that briefly before. To play a game,
ゲームをやる
game wo yaru. I think you might also hear game wo suru, or perhaps game de asobu. To be silent,
静かにする
shizuka ni suru. And, sure. It's not necessarily a word we're learning, but, well, there you go. To work out,
運動する
undo suru, another suru verb. Undo means work out or exercise. And receive,
もらう
morau. Alright, saying that you want to do something is actually not hard at all. Just use base 2 of the verb and add tai at the end. So if you want to eat, tabetai. Here we can see it in action. The subject can be left out. When making a statement, the subject is usually the speaker, or I. Don't forget to be polite by being disciplined. So, I want to dance.
踊りたいんです
Odoritain desu. I guess there's a reason for you want to dance. And for a reason you want to work out, you say
運動したいんです
undo shitain desu. But when it's phrased as a question, the subject is the listener, or you.
踊りたいですか
Odoritai desu ka? Do you want to dance?
お金をもらいたいですか
Okane o moraitai desu ka? Do you want to receive money? The tai makes the new word an e adjective, so you can change it to be negative or past tense. So if we want to say, I don't want this, wait. Hoshikunai. Damn it, game. You did it again. Well, I wanted to play a game.
ゲームをやりたかった。
Game wo yaritakatta. So yeah, just remember that is an E adjective and can be conjugated as such. One caution, being disciplined is polite, and usually you wouldn't ask what someone wants when inviting them to do something, like you would in English. Let me read that again really quick. Oh, I see.
ダンスしませんか？
Dance shimasen ka?
クッキーを食べませんか？
Cookie o tabemasen ka? Yeah, we use the negative forms. We use the negative conjugations of verbs when we're basically inviting somebody to do something. To invite people to do something in Japanese, simply ask a negative question. Now you can say what you want to do, but what about telling other people that you want them to do something? In order to tell someone that you want them to do something, you can use base te hoshi. I want you to teach Japanese.
日本語を教えてほしいです。
Nihongo o shiete hoshii desu. And I want you to be silent.
静かにしてほしい。
Shizuka ni shite hoshii. If you want to be, I guess, more polite about it, you would say something like shizuka ni shite kudasai. Base 2 tai is another E adjective, so feel free to conjugate it. Go back to the E adjective lesson if you don't remember. I want you to learn these words. Kono kotoba o masen desu. Oh, sorry. Kono kotoba o manande hoshiin desu. Kono koto o manande hoshiin desu. Alright, so flashcards. Let's do it.
散歩に行く。
To take a walk,
踊る。
to dance. Let me munch on some
運動
chips.
する。
Work out.
あげる。教える。もらう。静かにする。ゲームをやる。結婚する。お金。
So you can do flashcards, but how good is your memory? All right.
「運動する」「お金」「結婚する」「教える」「あげる」静かにする。
Oh, shoot.
もらう。踊る。 ゲームをやる。散歩に行く。
Tough. Now that you've finished a lesson on desire, I know what you want. More kanji! Alrighty then, let's do some more kanji. Time for some more kanji. This time, let's cover the numbers. Alright, we have 1, which is really easy. It's just a single horizontal line. Hitotsu, hito, chi, tsu. So, by itself, it means 1, ikko, 1 object, and if we want to say 1 person, it's hitori. Bear that in mind. Next we have 2, which is 2 lines, like this. Futatsu, futa, ni. By itself, it's ni, 2, niko, 2 objects, futari, 2 people. So, yeah, as you can see, this means person or people, and it can be read as ri. It can also be read as jin or nin. And we'll know about nin soon. Alright, so sun, 3. It's 3 lines. Mitsu, mitsu, mi, sun. Hey, so this is actually getting pretty easy, huh? Mitsu, 3 things. Sannin, 3 people. By itself, san, 3. So, with this trend, we expect something with 4 lines, or perhaps even 4 strokes, right? Why Japanese people? I guess I had to bring that up. At least I know about that, like, meme. But yeah, for some reason, 4 is written like this. It's written like this in Chinese as well, so Japan just borrowed it, so don't blame Japan, blame China. Though I guess China gets the blame for everything nowadays. Forget that. So, yotsu, yotsu, yo, yon, shi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So by itself, it's yon for 4, shigatsu, April, yonin, 4 people. Now let me go to paint really quick. So there's a general rule that you gotta follow when it comes to writing kanji. When you're writing something enclosed in a box, like with the kanji for 4, you want to write the contents inside of the box before you close it. Because how else are you going to fit those radicals in? It's quite simple, if you think about it. But yeah. Let's move on to the next kanji, which is 5. Okay, this one has 4 strokes, but it means 5. The previous one has 5 strokes, but it means 4. What the heck? Anyhow, yeah, this is 5. Itsutsu, itsu, go. So, go, 5. Gogatsu, me, itsutsu, 5 things. So as you can see, there's some irregular readings when it comes to, like, counting things with the tsu, tsu counter. We haven't learned this, yet. I think they actually do cover this in a later lesson, but yeah, we have hitotsu, futatsu, mitsu, yotsu, itsutsu. So let me go to paint really quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. In a way, you could see it as like a messed up 5. See what I mean? They just messed up a little bit. Next is roku, mutsu, mutsu, roku. So 6 by itself, roku, 6. Mutsu, 6 things. Roku nin, 6 people. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me write that a little bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, next is... Okay, that is written correctly. Nanatsu, nana, shichi. It actually does look like a 7 when flipped upside down. Let me see if I can, like, rotate this. Yeah, see that? It's basically a stylized 7 written upside down. That's an easy way to remember that. So we can say 7 as nana or shichi. And if we want to say 7 things, we'd say nanatsu. Next is 8. 8 is a pretty peculiar number in Japanese, from what I've gathered from some of the words I'm learning. Anyway, yatsu, yatsu, ya, hachi. By itself, it's hachi, 8. Yatsu, 8 things. Hachi nin, 8 people. So... Oh, actually, this is pretty important. You might see hachi written like this. Or... like this. Like, this part here is much more pronounced. But, yeah, oftentimes you'll just write it like this. Just something to be aware of, as you can see from the font here. Next is Q. Now, there are conflicting sources as to how to write Q here. Some seem to write it like this. Others seem to write it like this. I think generally this is the correct way to write it. So, let's just assume that my Japanese coach is wrong, but I guess either works. Maybe it depends on the school you're being taught in. I don't know. Anyway, kokonotsu, kokono, Q. By itself, it is Q, which means 9. Kugatsu, September. And kokonotsu, 9 things. So, to review, could be written like this, or it could be written like this. I'm not sure if it really matters. Maybe I'll take a look. Anyhow, the next one, the last one for this lesson is 10. G. By the way, I forgot, you can actually press the B button on your DS to redraw the kanji. So, yeah, that's fairly simple. To, ju, 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 ji. By itself, it is ju, 10, to, 10 objects, and jugatsu, October. Time for some kanji practice. Alright. 2つのリンゴがあります. I have 2 apples, or there are 2 apples. So, ta, and the kanji for that. 1つのリンゴをください. Please give me 1 apple. Oh. Ichi? It is not ichitsu, it's hitotsu. You got that wrong. これの5つをください. Let's see, itsu. And the kanji for that. 3人は車で行った. 3 people went by car. 私は9月が好きです. I like September. 9. Oh. That one's gonna be a doozy, isn't it? Aki-chan wa 7 歳です. Yeah, sai means years old. Hachiji ni tamago o tabemashita. I ate eggs at 8 o'clock. Hachi. Kare wa 10月が嫌いです. That is kirai, to hate. 10 and the kanji. 6人と話しました. Oh, oops. Okay, I think it's if you get even one part of the challenge wrong, it just counts the whole thing as wrong. So, 4人は私と日本語を勉強しました. 4 people study Japanese with me. Oh shoot, I just realized. Yeah, it doesn't want me to write yo the correct way. I realized that halfway. Sucks. Really sucks. You'll also need to know how to use these characters in sentences. Alright, we'll do scrolls. Watashi wa 9月が好きです. I like September. There we go. 6人と話しました. 4人は私と日本語を勉強しました. I'm getting pretty good at speaking Japanese now. Helps when I'm, like, streaming and I actually have a reason to speak out loud. これの5つをください。2つのリンゴがあります。8時に卵を食べました。Oh. Ooh, that was close. Saved that one. 1つのリンゴをください。あきちゃんは7歳です。彼は10月が嫌いです。3人は車で行った。じゃじゃん。Excellent. A whole new world of kanji is opening up to you now. Be sure to keep practicing. Next time we're learning more about suru. A pretty important word. Let's go ahead and do that now. To do. Previously, I taught you the verb suru and told you that it was going to be very important. Now you're going to find out why it's so important. I've also taught you how to turn a verb into a noun. Now you're going to see how you make a noun into a verb. Say that we have the noun for study, benkyo. This is just a noun, so you can't use it as it is to say that you are going to study. So how do you say that you are going to study? We do this by adding suru to the end of the word. In this case, it literally means I will do study. So it would end up as benkyo suru, the verb for study. However, this can't be placed at the end of every noun to turn it into a verb. For example, neko suru doesn't really mean anything. I am catting? I'm sure somebody's found a use for that. Here's some verbs made with suru. See if you can determine the base word. So first we have persecute.
迫害する
Hakugai suru. To study.
勉強する
Benkyou suru. To disapprove.
反対する
Hantai suru. To be, to disapprove or to be against something. To interpret.
通訳する
Tsuyaku suru. To translate.
翻訳する
Onyaku suru. I feel like I might remember these better if I knew the kanji for them. Same for these ones. To pronounce.
発音する
Hatsuon suru. To park.
駐車する
Chusha suru. To jog.
ジョギングする
Jogingu suru. To investigate.
操作する
Sousa suru. And to memorize.
暗記する
Anki suru. Ah, now you know where the term Anki comes from. It comes from memorization. Anyway, before we move onward, I think we should bring up our trusty come on. Bring up our trusty Jisho here. And because I'm just that kind of guy, I want to know what each of these are written like in kanji, because I personally think that it would actually make memorizing some of these words easier. But that's only if you've been, like, exposed well enough to kanji. So, let's see. First off, we have persecute, which is hakugai suru. Let's see, hakugai. to urge or force, harm, injury. Okay, fair enough. I haven't learned these kanji before, though, so that'll be a little tough for me to remember there. Next, we have benkyo suru, which I have used plenty of times already. Ben, exertion, endeavor, make effort, and then kyo, strong. It's the same one for tsuyoi. So yeah, become strong by studying. Disapprove, hantai. Not the other thing, which I'm not sure I'm allowed to say. So yeah, we have anti here, and vis-a-vis, opposite. So yeah, opposition, resistance. Tsuyaku suru. Oh, yeah. This is for to pass through. And this is reason, but it can also mean translate. So, yeah, in a way. And then honyaku. Hon, flip, turn over. Okay. I have not seen this kanji before. I guess I can think of it as like translating from an origin language, because hon, the word for book, actually uses the same kanji as origin. So that could be a helpful way for me to remember, at least. Next is hatsuon, pronunciation. So this one's departure and sound. So basically, sound leaves through your mouth. How do you make those sounds sound the way they sound? Let's see here. Next is chusha. Yeah, parking a vehicle. Wait, what is this kanji? Stopover, reside in, resident. I didn't think that was the two I was going to be seeing, but there you go. You could also think of it as like in the middle, I guess, because when you park there, it's only going to be temporary, so it's just in the middle of its long journey from 0 miles to however many miles it lasts. Jogging is... we don't have to look that up. Soul sasuru. This is... Alright, suru verb, operation, management, search, investigation. Oh, okay, so this is the one. I have not seen those kanji before, so that might not help. I have heard the word sosa plenty of times before, though, so maybe that could help. And this is Anki. Memorization. Learning by heart. You can also think of the Anki app, which is probably the best way to learn this. You should also be using Anki regularly. Time to put these new words to use.
通訳する
Interpret,
迫害する
to persecute,
反対する
To be against, disapprove.
ジョギングする
Jog.
駐車する
To park.
発音する
To pronounce.
暗記する
To memorize.
翻訳する
To translate.
操作する
To investigate.
勉強する
To study. There we go. How are you doing at picking up new words? Nah, I guess I'll do multiple choice.
ジョギングする
勉強する
勉強する
暗記する
暗記する
操作する
操作する
通訳する
通訳する
翻訳する
翻訳する
迫害する
迫害する
反対する
反対する
注射する
注射する
発音す
発
る
音する
Good. There's something important that I need to tell you, but I guess it can wait until the next lesson. Go master suru those words already. Interesting way to use suru there. Ah, need. Yeah, that's the next lesson. This is what I needed to tell you. How to tell what you need. There are a few ways to say that you need something or you need to do something, so let's get started. There are two main ways to say a noun is needed, hitsuyo and iru. We covered iru earlier, but this is a different iru, which is a good part of why we have kanji, to tell them apart. You need to look over these words before continuing. Okay, so help,
助け
tasket. This is like a variant of taskeru, which we have learned earlier, so I don't know why exactly we are basically learning this again. Anyway, necessity,
必要
hitsuyo. To be necessary,
いる
iru. Key,
鍵
kagi. Computer,
コンピューター
computer. Remember, iru is a verb and hitsuyo is a not adjective. See how they are used below. So, oh wait, tasuke is a noun. Okay, my bad. So, yeah, I need help. 助けが必要です。助けが必要です。I need a key.
鍵が必要です
鍵が必要です。To say that you need to do something, you can use base 1 ないといけません or base 1なくちゃいけません. Oh, so they do go over this. I need to eat.
食べないといけません
食べないといけません. I need to do this.
これをしなくちゃいけません
これをしなくちゃいけない. Actually, ikenai also works. That was a mistake, but it's a helpful mistake. So, yeah, so naito ikemasen shortened to nakucha ikemasen. Or maybe that's not exactly a shortening, but it's more casual. Basically, what that part translates to is if not this, it will not go well. Think of it like that. Ikemasen, not go. So, to can mean if. If this is not, then it will not go well. That's a helpful way of remembering how that works. You should try using these words in sentences. By the way, you lose one awesomeness factor point if you forget how to say pen. Yeah.
ペン
Pen is Easy. It's pen. Anyway, mirror.
鏡
Kagami. Pencil.
鉛筆
Enpitsu. Watch.
時計
Toke. And light.
光
Hikari. Now it's time to use them in a game. Word search. Okay. Toke.
時計
Iru.
いる
Hikari.
光
Kagami.
鏡
Kagi.
鍵
Hitsuyo.
必要
Tasuke.
助け
Pen.
ペン
Enpitsu.
鉛筆
What's the last one? Computer.
コンピューター
Are you starting to feel a little needy? Flashcards. Pen.
光
Hikari. Light.
鉛筆
Enpitsu. Pencil.
助け
Tasuke. Help. Noun.
時計
Toke. Watch.
必要
Hitsuyo. Necessity.
鍵
Kagi. Key.
コンピューター
Computer.
いる
Iru. To be necessary.
鏡
Kagami. Mirror. Alright, and we're good there. Now, let me bring up the dictionary here, and I'll type in iru. Yeah, to be needed, to be necessary, to be required. So, yeah, this one, to be, of animate objects, to exist. This is the kanji for it, but it is hardly ever used. However, this iru can use this kanji, and I'm pretty sure it would be used plenty of times because, well, iru, they're both irus that we've learned are very commonly used, so knowing this kanji would be very helpful. By the way, this kanji is also used in the word hitsuyo, as seen right here. If you've got all of your needs out of the way, it's time for something more important. An emergency! Alright, time to learn about emergency. I hope that you never have to use these words, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So, first off, we have medical attention.
医療
Iyo. For medicine.
薬
Kusuri. Nurse.
看護婦
Kangofu. Aspirin.
アスピリン
Aspirin. Fair enough. Doctor.
医者
Isha. Especially haku. Yuck. Hopefully you don't have to use that word, but yeah.
吐く
Haku means to throw up. Though, if you're playing a video game, let's say, and let's say you have a sort of dragon monster who you are taming and it spits fire or coughs up fire, it would use the word haku for that as well. So, it can be pretty commonly used in, like, settings like that. Anyway,
保
insurance.
険
Ken, to sit down.
座る
Suaru. Bandage.
包帯を巻く
Hotai o maku. Oh, this is a verb. Hotai o maku. An emergency.
緊急事態
Kinkyu jitai. let's see if you can remember these words under pressure. Word searches are easy, though. 医療、
医療、
薬、
薬、
保険、
保険、
アスピリン、
アスピリン、
包帯を巻く、
包帯を巻く、
看護婦、
看護婦、
緊急事態、
緊急事態、
座る、
座る、
医者、
医者、
吐く、
吐く、
done. I hope you remember what you learned about making sentences. Sato means needs medical attention.
佐藤さんは医療が必要です。
Sato-san wa iryou ga hitsuyou desu. Yeah, you definitely need to know how to use the need words here. I need you to sit down.
座らないといけません。
Suwaranai to ikemasen. If you do not sit down, it will not do good. I'm not sure if you would hear it like that. It's just sitting down, but I don't really know. Let's do another game to keep it fresh in your mind. Flashcards.
吐く、
Haku, to throw up.
座る、
To sit down.
アスピリン、
Aspirin.
医者、
Doctor.
包帯を巻く、
To bandage.
薬、
Medicine.
緊急事態、
Emergency.
保険、
Insurance. Whew.
医療、
Medical attention.
看護婦、
Nurse. Alrighty. Great job. That's it for this lesson. Aren't the simple lessons nice? More verb work next time. Think you can handle it? Alright, and that will do it for today's session of My Japanese Coach. Let's see what we'll be learning next. Can do, some more kanji, excuses, traveling, parts of the body, condition, quoting, clothes, and that's what we'll be doing. Let's see. I'm just wondering if there's anything else that maybe I would like to go over. Okay, I think the thing I actually want to try and go over is the difference between kara and node in certain situations. There's a video I've watched by Moon-chan, Learn Japanese with Moon-chan. That channel has actually been very helpful when it comes to like learning Japanese. The animations are also very cute, so that certainly helps as well. Let me see if I can find it on something like Tofugu. Otherwise, I could probably just, like, pull up the video. Let's see. Kara versus node. Okay, let's try, Let's try wasabi. Let's see, we don't really have to watch the video if it's written around here. Alright, so we'll take a look at the particles kara and node. They both translate to English as because, but depending on which one you use in Japanese, the meaning of the sentence changes slightly. Alright, let's see. Expressing reason in Japanese. First of all, let's look at the basic structure for expressing reason in Japanese by comparing it with English. In English, you usually state the conclusion before the reason. I was late for school because I missed the bus. Conclusion. Here's the conclusion comes before the reason. In Japanese, on the other hand, the reason is stated at the beginning of the sentence. So, let's see. Futoru kara okashi wa tabemasen. Reason, conclusion. I don't eat sweets because I gain weight. Futoru no de okashi wa tabemasen. I don't eat sweets because I gain weight. They both mean the same thing, but there's a slight nuance. Alright, let's take a very brief look at the grammatical rules for kara and node. First, any verb or adjective before kara and node has to be in the dictionary form. Any noun or na adjective is followed by da before kara and na before node. So, dakara, nanode. So, hito dakara, sarei, kirei dakara. So, hito dakara, kirei dakara, for example. And then for noun or not adjectives, we add nanode. For example, onna nanode, hita nanode. So, for nouns and not adjectives, simply memorize dakara and nanode. Now let's dive into the main part of today's topic and take a look at how the meaning of the sentence changes depending on whether you use kara or node. Difference between the two is substantial enough to make it important, and people actively use this difference to change the nuance of a sentence entirely. One key difference between kara and node is that kara is more on the casual side, while node is more polite. But it's not just that. Using the wrong expression might sound offensive because it may sound like you're making excuses or avoiding taking responsibility for your actions. Let's look carefully at the following examples. Moshi moshi, hello. Moshi moshi, ima unten chu dakara, ato de kake na oshite mo ii desu ka? Hello, I'm sorry, but can I call you back because I'm driving? Or it could be moshi moshi, ima unten chu na no de, ato de kake na oshite mo ii desu ka? In the first example, the speaker uses kara, dakara, because untenchu is a noun. Using kara puts emphasis on himself and his actions. Therefore, his statement may be perceived as a little selfish. So it's like, hey, I'm driving here, so can I call you back? In the second example, the speaker uses node, nanode, because again, untenchu is a noun, which puts more emphasis on the situation and circumstances than on his actions, indicating that there's something out of his control responsible for him being unable to talk on the phone right now, ultimately making him sound a bit more apologetic. So, I'm sorry, I'm driving right now, so can I call you back? It's because I'm driving, I can't talk right now. Can I call you back? Therefore, using node is appropriate for making requests. If you use kara when making a request or asking someone for something, you are putting emphasis on your own needs, actions, and opinion, which may implicate your selfishness. Examples for making requests with node. 9箇所がないので、一緒に見てもいいですか? Can we look at a textbook together since I don't have one? 道に迷ったので、教えてもらってもいいですか? Can you please tell me the directions since I'm lost? Lastly, let's look at cases where you actually should use kara instead of node. First off, kara is used when making a request for the sake of the listener. So, 危ないからここに入らないでください。入らないでください。Because it's dangerous, don't come in. To a child, you can say, 怪我をするからあまりはじゃがないで。あまりはじゃがないで。怪我をするからあまりはじゃがないで。Oh man. Trying to read fast is a little difficult when you don't know the words by heart. You'll get hurt, so don't jump around too much. Two, when you want to order someone to do something, you can use kara. This should be between very close friends, family, or co-workers. 匂うからゴミ捨ててきて. It stinks, so throw out the trash. If you use node in a casual situation with someone you were close with, it may sound a bit unnatural. Lastly, when you use daro for expressing the future and predictions, and the polite form desho, you can only use kara. For example, 今日は雨だろうから傘を持っていこう. I will bring my umbrella today because it might rain. 喉が渇いているでしょうからお水を持ってきましたよ. I brought you water because you might be thirsty. However, でしょうから is rarely used. That is everything for today's lesson. Okay. And then they give you a vocabulary list of some words that we didn't learn in my Japanese coach, but you know what? It's good to know about these anyway. So, yeah, I figured it would be nice to know the difference for stating, like, cause and effect. The difference between kara and node. If there's one more thing I can bring up, there are some times where you might actually hear kedo to mean but it's located at the end of a sentence and there's nothing else that comes up. Sometimes it means that there's something that could be implied from that. So they don't want to be rude about it by being so direct. That's kind of the thing about Japanese culture. They don't want to be very direct or rude about something. If they want to point out something is wrong or something that might not be the most impressive for the person who is listening to you, some people would add, people would have the sentence end with kedo. At least I'm pretty sure that's what the case is. I know Kaname Kaito did a video about it, so if you want, you can check that out. But with that said, that is it for today. Kyou wa kokomade desu. So, thank you for attending my little study session. Thankfully, it didn't last 3 hours this time. I'm happy about that. So, yeah, next time we meet, let's see. I don't know when about Japanese, but probably the next time I stream, maybe it'll be tomorrow for Monster Sanctuary. Maybe not. Depends on what I want to get done or what I should get done. So just be on the lookout on my YouTube channel and my Blue Sky to keep updated on what I'm doing. So with that said, thank you very much for watching. This is Stylus signing off. See you next time.